The future of any nation is determined by the quality of its present and future workforce. As a well-trained and sustained workforce often accounts for rapid economic, political, and social-cultural advancement, and that is why nations with serious development objectives work very hard to ensure the creation and sustenance of its workforce. Poverty-related issues remain the fulcrum of most of the discussions concerning developing countries across the globe, including Nigeria, while youth unemployment has been adduced as the most critical driver of the preponderant poverty. According to the 2003 census figures, about 70% of the nation's population falls within the youth category, that is, people within the age of 18 and 35 years of age. Several research has shown that more than 50% of this class of Nigerians are not gainfully employed, which indeed is alarming. In Kwara State, the situation has not been very different, as the various communities are full of unemployed able-bodied men. It is not in doubt that there have been several efforts in the past, but most of them have been too little too late. Consequently, His Excellency, the Governor of Kwara State, in his inaugural speech, had promised to address the key issues of development through novel ideas that will astonish the people and take Kwara State to greater heights.
Human capital development. The greatest asset of our state is our people. We shall therefore ensure sustained investment in development of our human capital. Only a healthy and educated population can contribute meaningfully to the economy of our state. Youth employment and job creation. This shall be the central focus of my administration. All other developmental policies and actions shall be firmly driven by their potential to provide jobs for our teeming youths.
In his determination to ensure good governance, a workshop was organized for the State Executive Council and permanent secretaries. Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed restated his determination to ensure cost-effectiveness and reduce wastage of public funds in the conduct of government business and ensure property and transparency in governance, which he described as one of the pillars of the 2012 budget. The government of Alhaji Abdul Fattah Ahmed, in its determination to have a qualitative workforce on assumption of office, changed the Ministry of Education to the Ministry of Education and Human Capital Development in order to ensure that the education curricula of the state can adequately cater for skill acquisition and entrepreneurial training, which has spurred development in no small measure. The programs and policies of the Abdul Fattah-led administration towards solving the problems of extreme poverty, despite the state government's meager resources, are quite instructive. The administration has a variety of programs which are divided into stopgap and generational change measures, and these measures are indeed interesting. The government of Alhaji Abdul Fattah Ahmed, unlike most of his counterparts, has also developed foolproof measures to ensure that no Kwaran is left below the poverty line through its education reform agenda, which has certainly made Kwara's education system better than before.
The kind of education that we have prior to that time was more or less an education that is looking for employment all about, and at the end of the day, the job is not there. The job is not there. It's now an education that is based on the need of the society, which is more or less thinking of what are the needs of the society, and based on that kind of education is provided for the society. And we all see today that basically the need of society today is more or less on technical education, vocational, and skill acquisition, particularly on entrepreneurship. So these are the kind of education that Kwara State is looking into: science, technical, vocational, and entrepreneurship. So in Kwara State today, we are looking at these areas as more or less paramount to our educational reform in the state.
Kwara State was the first to ensure and introduce quality assurance in the educational sector in Nigeria, and this has attracted many states within the country and some African countries, which include Burundi and Ethiopia, to understudy the unique system under the Kwara education reform. Similarly, the Kwara State Governor, Alhaji Abdul Fattah Ahmed, has approved the disbursement of 1.6 billion naira for the renovation of 244 blocks of classrooms, construction of administrative blocks and laboratories in secondary schools across the 16 local government areas to further improve the standard of education within the state. In his usual dedicated manner and living true to his word, the government established the Kwara State Bridge Empowerment Scheme, KWABES.
We're here to formally launch KWABES and engage an initial 2,000 youths. I'm now pleased to welcome you all to this historic occasion. The Kwara Bridge Empowerment Scheme is designed to facilitate the transition between unemployment and gainful employment for our youth. In doing this, the scheme seeks to establish strategic partnerships with key stakeholders in public and private sector to ensure the adoption of registered members of the corps, as well as promote youth involvement in small and medium-scale enterprises.
In his determination to create shared prosperity through the economic empowerment of small-scale business owners and accelerate their capacity to become major players in the economy of Kwara State, His Excellency Alhaji Abdul Fattah Ahmed recently flagged off a 250 million naira microcredit intervention scheme for small and medium-scale enterprises, SMEs, designed to strengthen the capacity of cooperative societies, including youth entrepreneurs in the state. The 250 million naira was the first tranche of a 500 million naira fund designed to boost entrepreneurship and enhance the economic well-being of people of the state.
As it demonstrates my administration's effort to create shared prosperity through the empowerment and development of small and medium-scale enterprises. It also underlines our determination to strengthen the capacity of the private sector to drive economic development of our dear state.
Under the KWABES program of the hard-working governor, Abdul Fattah Ahmed, the data of unemployed youths in the state is collected and further analyzed and broken into various categories to facilitate a deeper understanding of the situation with the intention of addressing the problem in a pragmatic manner. Under the scheme, the government has directed that all unemployed young residents of the state between the ages of 18 and 35, graduates and non-graduates, without consideration for political, religious, or ethnic affiliation, be registered on a continuous basis. KWABES is an extraordinary idea aimed at addressing the problem of youth unemployment that seems to have defied all known solutions through a multi-dimensional approach, which includes capturing and analyzing data on employable youths, facilitating the emergence of a new crop of entrepreneurs through the provision of training, microcredit and other loans facilities, liaising with the public and private sector on job placements, and aiding all public and private initiatives aimed at generating employment. A breakdown of the figures shows that out of the 2,000 employed in the pilot phase, 800 were absorbed by the public service, 600 were posted as teachers, 100 went to other ministries and government departments, while the final 500 were posted to the private sector.